we have 200 orcs have made their lair in this cavern. Hey everybody, welcome back. Purple Druid here, and today we are going to go through the procedure for our Dungeon Wilderness synthesis process. And if you've read the latest Stack publication, Introduction to Dungeon 25, you'll see that we have the Dungeon Wilderness Lairs and Encounter procedure. We're going to be using this sample hex. This is a 5-mile hex. The large sub-hexes you see here are 1 mile across, and I'm not sure if you can see, but there are 0.2 of a mile sub-hexes within there. And we're going to be determining the layers for this 5-mile hex based on this temple that's hidden in this cavern, which is mapped out here and keyed here. And we had already done this previously as part of our preparation. So we're going to take a look at our 5-mile hex. And what we're going to do is we're going to establish how many layers and where they're located. And then we'll roll on our random monster tables and find out which monsters have layers in those locations. So let's go ahead and roll a d6. So we're going to have five layers. And we're going to go ahead and roll a d30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So let's go ahead and roll those. So we get a 15, a 19, 21, 25, and 25 again, so we don't want to do that. We're going to re-roll that. Whoops. And 14. So those are where the layers will be located. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, so there's going to be a layer here and a layer here. 16, 17, 18, 19. There'll be a layer up here. 20, 21. This will have a layer. And then 25, 22, 23, 24, and 25. So there's 2 right next to each other here. And that would actually put 4 layers all around there. So you know what? That's kind of close. We also want to put one here because that's where our lost temple is located. So we're going to force one in here, and then we're going to get rid of this one in between, and we're going to put one over here just to spread them out a little bit more. So that's where our layers are going to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Wait, that's 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. So that is where our layers will be located. Now, we're using the Blueholme rules for this campaign. So we have Blueholme Journeyman here, and we're going to go ahead And we're going to go to our underworld encounters on page 53. Monster levels 1, 1, 3, 4, 5. Well, you know what? They're kind of in this order, so let's do it this way. Level 1, level 4, level 1, level 3, level 5. All right. So on level 1, we're going to roll a d12. And that's a 3. So we're going to have dwarfs. D6 dwarfs. And for level 4, it's going to be a 7. That's going to be a rust monster. And level 1 again, that's an 8. We're going to have some orcs. And for level 3, we have a 5. That's going to be a gray ooze. And finally, for level 5 is a 7, which will be NPCs. You know what? I don't want to drop NPCs into this just yet. We'll establish that later. So let's go with a 12, which is going to be D4 trolls. All right, so now we have established which monsters have lairs in which areas. And it's as simple as that. So now all we have to do is create a little lair for each of these, a bullet point key, and we're good to go. Now, for your dungeon, we're going to look in the monster manual to roll the number appearing because Blueholme does not have that. So, for dwarf, we have 40 to 400. So we're going to get 4d10 here. And we're just going to do this one example with the dwarfs to show what we mean, because this is what we want to find out what kind of numbers we're looking at. So that is 10, 21, 210. 210 dwarfs are in hex number 6. So that is the kind of lair that we'll be setting up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's actually B4. So on our hex map, we'll do B4, 210 dwarfs. Now, the fun thing about the monster manual is that it actually gives you a distribution of how many leveled characters and leaders and that sort of thing are supposed to be in there. So we'll do that for the 210 dwarfs, and that will determine the size of the lair or camp. Because we are not in a mountain area, I'm going to rule that these dwarfs are a patrol or on a military mission of some sort. So we'll finish abducting that later. And then it says here, for every 40 dwarfs, there'll be a fighter of 2nd to 6th level. So we're looking at, what, 10 of 2nd to 6th level. I need to get a die roller. Anyway, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. All right, so 1 is equal to 2. So we have 3 second. Three and 3. So we have 2/3. We have 1/4. We have 2/5. And 1/6. If 160 or more dwarves are in a group, there will be in addition 1/6 and 1/4 level fighter as chief and lieutenant. So we have 2/6 and 2/4. If 200 or more are encountered, there will be a fighter cleric of 3rd to 6th level fighting ability and 4th to 7th level clerical ability. 3, 4, 5, 6. So those are D4s. So the fighter will be 4, and the cleric will be 6. In addition to those others. So that is where we are. A dwarven lair is always an underground complex in solid rock. We're not going to do that. Dwarves are typically armored with chainmail and shield and have the following typical weaponing. So we need to break up our 210 dwarfs according to this. Because we have 200, we can easily just double these. And so we'll have 30 with sword and light crossbow, 20 with sword and polearm, 40 with sword and spear, 20 with axe and heavy crossbow, 50 with axe and hammer, 20 with axe and mace, and 20 with hammer and pick. And then our higher level fighters and fighter clerics have a 10% chance per level of having magic armor and or weapons. For the fighter clerics, check at 10% per clerical level for 1 to 4 additional items such as a potion, clerical scroll, ring, etc. usable by clerics. All dwarves above normal level will have plate armor and shield. Now, we are not in a lair, so we're not going to roll for the tamed animals, but we can go ahead and roll. We'll roll later for these. I just want to block this out. So there we go. That's the procedure for that. Next, we have a rust monster in hex 14. So that's here. So we have in D1. Is our rust monster. And then here in 16 is where we have the orcs. Now the lair, the temple, is where the orcs are. So we're going to flip over here to the orcs page, and we're going to do the same thing. And once again, we're going to roll for orcs 30 to 300. And this is where chainmail is going to come in handy later. So we have 200 orcs have made their lair in this cavern. Now, this cavern, these are ruined buildings that we've already established. This is the ruined temple. And then we have some buildings over here, which we've previously identified as a cavalry barracks, a feed barn, and a stable. They have a well and a stream that runs out. So there's plenty of room for these orcs. And they can literally just camp in here too, because this is a cavern. So plenty of room for 200 orcs to have made a lair. And we're going to do the same sort of thing for the orcs as we did for the elves and determine how many leaders and chiefs and what have you. Where are we at here? So for every 30 orcs encountered, there will be a leader and 3 assistants. So we have a leader and 3 assistants. These have 8 hit points each. If 150 or more orcs are encountered, there will be the following additional figures with the band: a sub-chief and 3 to 18 guards. So we have a sub-chief and 12, 16 guards. These have armor class 4 and 11 hit points. All of those. And if the orcs are not in their lair, which they are, so we're going to skip that part. Orc lairs are underground, which we have this cavern. There will always be the following additional orcs when the encounter is in the lair: a chief and 5 to 30 bodyguards. So we have 12, 22, 27 bodyguards. They have AC 4 and 13 to 16 hit points. If the lair is above ground, it will be a rude village of wooden huts protected by a ditch, rampart, and log palisade. So we're going to need to add that. Make sure you can see that. We're going to have to add a ditch and a palisade along here, since we have these orcs. Now, initially, I had planned for this temple to be the lair of a hill giant. So I think perhaps we'll still keep that hill giant there, and the orcs will have made a deal where they help take care of the hill giant, and the hill giant helps take care of them. We also have the weaponry distribution here for the 200, and again, we'll just double these percentages. That will give us our various chainmail units that we can mix and match for if and when the characters meet those. So now we've got the 2 big ones, the dwarfs and the orcs. The Great Ooze. Let's see what the Great Ooze here. The Great Ooze is in number 19, 16, 17, 18, 19. So the Great Ooze is hiding here. We'll find a place for the Great Ooze. That's E1. And then the trolls. We have D4 trolls. I'm sorry, no. Let's see how many trolls are in the monster manual here. One to 12. One troll. And that troll will have his lair here in the vicinity. Probably along the edge. We'll add another little cave. Let's do that right now. We'll add a little cave on the slope of the hill. Let's put that right. Let's put that right here. All right, so that is where our troll lives. And for some reason, the orcs leave him alone. He leaves the orcs alone, or maybe the orcs feed him. Well, again, We can use our abductive reasoning and figure out some information about that when we, finalize our key. So those are the notes. That is the quick and easy way to determine the layers available for your dungeon. Now we're going to do this again when we start on the next phase, which will be this hex here, where the castle is. And that will be a completely different video, but the castle hex looks like this. We'll do the same procedure. We'll roll to find out, because this area does indeed have a dungeon down below. So the creatures that we roll for, their lairs will actually be beneath the surface. And we'll go through that procedure in the next video. I do look forward to your questions and comments. Please do leave them down below. Be sure to hit like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of these videos. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and keep on gaming.